you too. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wow. What an amazing event. I heard a lot about family, and I was thinking about my mom. And I was thinking about my journey with Take Shape for Life. I was remembering something she used to say to me. And that was when I used to get fired from jobs that I had because I was such a brat. She'd say, that's God's way of telling you to move on to the next thing. And my mom's been passed away 12 years in August, but she's still with me because of all the nice little gems that she gave me through my life. So, before Take Shape for Life, my life looked a lot different than it does now. I had a corporate job, and I worked really, really hard. I have had a lot of sales jobs in my life, and the last job I had prior to Take Shape for Life, I had a big territory and a lot of responsibility, and part of that time was spent driving. So a 12-hour day, and I'd get home, and I'd have to place the orders that I got that day into the system, and then I'd get to eat something, and then it was time for bed. So it didn't leave a lot of time for other things. And the thing about this company too was I remember a woman called me crying, and she said, gosh, I can't figure out how to use ISOL software. She couldn't figure out how to use it. And I called the company, and they were not willing to pay me to go train her. And that was really hard. So I didn't have a lot of meaning and purpose in what I was doing before Take Shape for Life. My life looked a lot different. So through this process of growing and learning, and you know, when I first started with Take Shape for Life, I was 31. And yeah, I was 31, so I was just in my 30s, and I'm now 40. But when I go back to that experience prior to being part of Take Shape for Life, I remember a really impactful moment in my life, which was September 11th. Everyone remember September 11th? The world stopped, and so did mine. I got laid off of that job that I worked so hard for and didn't get a lot in return. In one moment, I laid off, and my sweetheart and I, Greg Rex, some of you have heard from him, we went to Costa Rica. And when we were in Costa Rica, I had a spiritual experience. You know, I always thought money made you happy, which is why I was working all those hours, investing all that time into trying to make money, because I thought that would make me happy. And what I learned when I was in Costa Rica, and I met with some of the most impoverished people, they lived in dirt and had pigs in the backyard, which was kind of cool. It was, but they were happy. You could feel they were happy, through and through, and they had nothing. So that experience, then coming back after that trip, I realized that I wanted something more. And my sweetheart found Take Shape for Life and got on the program and lost 50 pounds. And I was a little resistant. I was a little hesitant. I wasn't really sure about it when he went through it. I was one of those sabotagers. But he got on the program and had a lot of success. And I finally came around. And I got on it, and I lost 9 pounds. And started feeling better. And I wasn't looking good because I worked so much and I wasn't eating well. And I had hypoglycemia, so I didn't feel good. But as soon as I started using the program, I felt better. And I knew Greg had already started doing the business, so I had an example of what was possible. So I went out and just started helping people. And I took my skills from my previous jobs in sales, which was, I hustled. I was used to doing it all myself. So I went out there and I talked to, and I remember I was in an event, and one of the first events I went to, somebody said that they went out and talked to 10 people a day. And I'm a little competitive. So I said, I'm going to talk to 20. So I went out and just started talking to as many people as I could, sharing the program. And I started to have some success. And I was really excited about that. What I've noticed in this business, which is different from any other company I've been in, is that there's different levels of growth. Every time I get something accomplished, there's something new to learn. So then I had about 100 clients. Because I'd gotten out there every day, talking to 20 people, doing my best, bringing in, chatting it up. And I had started to paint myself into my old life. I love what we're doing here. I love helping people. But I wasn't listening to my mentors. Pretty much I hadn't most of my life, because I knew everything. And in the jobs that I had to be the one to make it happen. And in the jobs that I had, if I got something, you lost. And that wasn't like that here, but I just didn't get it. Because I remember, Greg was telling me, you should build teams. Because I had about 100 clients. I was working really long hours. And I was like, what? No, I didn't get it. And part of it was, I thought, and Dr. A and Dan, everyone, that's what we talk about, building teams, helping more people. But I remember arguing with Dan, because he wrote the pay plan. I was trying to figure out, why would I only want to make 3% when I could make 35%? Oh, I just don't get it. And I thought at the time it was about that. What I've always done is I've been in sales. I've never coached anyone. I've never led anyone. I've never done anything for anybody but me. If it worked out well for me, then I'd help out you a little bit, but usually just about me.
Oh.
So I remember going to an event. Transformation happens, they say that. Leaders are born in events. I was at another event, and I was sitting down talking to another coach that hadn't been around as long as I have, but they were making the same amount of money I was. And because I asked, because that's how I was rolling back then. And I learned about, they told me how many hours they were working, and it was less than the number of hours that I was working. And it was just, oh, wow. And I realized that my fears were about, more about not being excited to help coach and move people forward versus the money. And so after I had that breakthrough, it kind of reminds me a little bit of my first time water skiing. Or, I don't know if any of you have tried something for the first time, and the first time you did it, you were really bad at it, and it took some time for you to get better and better. As they say, repetition is the mother of all skill. Well, I remember the very first time I water skied. And I was in the water, and it was cold. It was actually in Oregon, because that's where I'm originally from. And I'm in the water, and I've got this little vest on, never done it before, and I've got this rope that's thrown in the water in front of me, and these people on the boat cheering me on, but kind of yelling at me and telling me what to do. And I grab the rope, lean in, bend your knees, and hold on. So I did that, and I listened to the person on the boat, and I started pushing down. It reminded me kind of like when we first get started with clients on the program, right? You got your coach, you're listening, they're telling you what to do, you're holding on, you're helping people, you're starting to get a few clients, you're up, and then somebody falls off the program. Or you fall off the program. And then, what happens? You're still in the water, you got your skis on, waiting, got the rope in front of me. Well, the rope comes back around, because who's coming back around for me? The boat. So the rope's in front of me, and I have a decision to make, right? I lost a couple clients, kind of bummed about that. So I grab the rope again, start to get up, pulling up, I'm pulling up, I'm pulling up. Yes. It's a whole new feeling up there. starting to be able to turn, and it's exciting, and I'm having fun. And then, you name it. Somebody sends back the product, I fall because I'm talking to a coach, I'm trying to get somebody excited about this, they say no, and down I go again. And this time the skis fly, everything goes everywhere. But what happens? I just wait. The boat comes back around to get me again. There's the rope in front of me, and I have a decision to make. And I grab that rope every single time it's come around. Now, did I had the people on the boat telling me what to do? My coaches, yes. But, and they were coaching me and telling me to keep grabbing it, but I had a decision to make. It was my choice. It was up to me whether or not I was going to grab that rope and do the work that it took to get up, to have that excitement, that exhilaration that you feel when something goes well. And things go wrong. But if I quit grabbing that rope when it came back around for me, and I didn't listen to the people on the boat and make the adjustments as they told me to the different coaching that your coaches will give you, if I didn't listen to them, I think where would I be now? You know, the life that I get to live now is so much different than the one that I lived before. And I never imagined, and I was going to ask how many of the people in the room would like to be up here next year, but I never imagined myself being that person on the boat coaching somebody else. I never imagined I'd be standing here. I did not want to. But every time I was in the water, the boat kept coming back around. I knew people were there that cared about me, that wanted me to succeed, and I grabbed that rope. And I was willing to do the work, and I got back up. And I believe, with all of the coaches and the cheerleaders that were on that boat, they all wanted me to do well. They'd already done it. They knew that I could get up if I did the things that they told me to do. I just had to be willing to listen. And as time went on, just like with anything, if you practice something in your life, you get better at it, if you keep at it over time. But I do think back of what would my life be now. I call myself a Take Shape for Life baby, even though I know I'm not the youngest Millers. But, you know, I'm 40 now, and in my life, if I looked at my trilogy score in the area of happiness, health, and finances, I've never been happier. I feel great. I love being 40. It's magic. I mean, I look good, I feel good, I get to eat small, frequent meals, I'm learning about health every day. My happiness, never been happier. Never enjoyed what I do more with people that I care about. And finances. You know, back then I was living paycheck to paycheck. Greg pointed out to me, I paid the government 5 times what I used to earn in a year last year. Great feeling. So, in closing, thank you. And you know, if the rope's coming around and you know the coach on the boat is there, remember who's driving your boat. Who's driving our boat? Who's the best captain in the world? Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. And he'll keep driving that thing around. You're going to have your coaches out there trying to tell you and coach you and help you stay on there. But don't let go of the rope, you guys. Stay with us, and congratulations for all that you do.